Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry's Move. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And what is truth? What is truth? Now, this video is going to help everybody when you come across people who say they are the truth, or people who say they have the truth, or people who say this religion is the truth, or people say this is the truth, or even for people who asking what is the truth. You need to understand that anyone who's using that term truth with the TH at the end of it is truly lost in some way, shape, or form. And we're going to break that down, because here's what people need to clearly understand. There's a thin line between truth with a TH. There's a thin line between truth and what is true and what is a fact. I repeat, there's a thin line between truth and what is true and what is a fact. And we're going to break this down throughout the video. Now, what is truth? Truth is not something you can point to. Truth is not something that's external. Truth is not something you can be like, oh, that's where it at. That's what it is. That's the truth. So off the back, anybody who are utilizing these terms in that fashion, you need to know that they're lost off the back. As Archangel Uriel, I'm going to explain. Now check this. Alright, now when we speak on truth is not something external. Truth is not something you can point at and be like, oh, that's the truth. You see what I'm saying? Truth is not, so anytime you hear somebody utilizing that, you need to keep that in mind. Truth is not something external. Truth, the term truth wouldn't exist without a lie. So truth is synonymous with lie. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, when you figure something ain't what you thought it was, and what is lie back to supported by? Something that ain't what it appeared to be. So anytime you figure out something is not what it appeared to be, y'all came up with the term that y'all use as lie or lying. When you figure out something is not what it appears to be. So when you figure out something is not what it appears to be, y'all came up with the term of that's not the truth. So here's where y'all get lost into what y'all think is the truth, and y'all get lost into y'all Satan and opposing energy. Because the next thing that y'all gravitate towards that directly oppose what you once thought was truth, and once you figure out that wasn't what it appeared to be, it becomes a lie, right? So the next thing that you jump into, you end up thinking that that's truth because it's an opposing idea, feeling, or physical shape and form in some way, shape. So y'all jump into y'all lostness when y'all get lost into y'all Satanness, and that's just the opposing energy. Now y'all have something to oppose something else, and once y'all figure out something is not what it appeared to be, once you find something to oppose that, you find what you call that the truth. You find whatever you find to oppose that the truth. So for the most part, by you being lost in the truth and whatever spirit taught you that, for the most part, that was a demonic energy, and it got you lost into that concept. Now, here's what I mean by there's a very thin line between truth and what is true and what is a fact. And here's what I mean by that, because what is true and what is a fact is based upon a realm of reality, and a realm of reality is based upon elements, and we create elements based upon what matter to us. So we're creating matter spiritually. So what do I mean by this, right? Let me break it down to the third dimension on a scientific level so y'all can understand it, right? Now, here's the actual thing. When we talk about now say I'm very good at something, right? Now, speaking of what's a fact and what is true, say I'm very good at something. It could be anything. You can put anything in that box. I'm very good at this. I'm very good at that. You can look at that for yourself, right? So that could be true in that space and location, or due to that conversation. That's true. If you're very good at something, whatever y'all talking about. Say you're very good at basketball, or if you're a female, you're very good at doing hair. For the most part, if you got a reputation or whatever like that, that could be true. So when someone else is explaining it, someone could be like, confirm it. So that could make it a fact. So that becomes what's true, and that becomes a fact. Now, here's the thing. Here's what separates it from truth. Because you are not very itself, and you are not good in itself. Because if you want to break down what is very is the term itself. You are not that. You see what I'm saying? And then you are not good in itself. So for the most part, yeah, you are very good at something. That is true, and that could be a fact. But the truth is you're not good in itself, because whatever you are doing could be harming someone else, and they may could look at that like it's bad. So that is not truth on a universal level. Truth doesn't even exist. You see what I'm saying? Like, what is truth? That doesn't even exist. But what is true and what could be a fact is what we create based upon realms of realities, and that's what's separated. You get what I'm saying? So based upon, you want to call water this and you want to call the sun that, and that could be a fact, and that could be true based upon the information you have received, based upon history and other man philosophical points of views, and women other philosophical points of views of things. But for the most part, that is not the truth. You know what I'm saying? The same way, what's a fact is a scientist could teach you about sleep and sleep paralysis and things of that nature. That could be a fact, and it could be true based upon their hypothesis and things of that nature. But who said that was the truth? You see what I'm saying? This is why a scientist can't create water, but they can tell you how water is made. So they can tell you the facts about water. They can tell you what's true about water. But they don't know the truth about water. You get what I'm saying? So truth doesn't exist. Truth doesn't exist. Not true, truth with the TH at the end of it. Truth doesn't exist. Truth is synonymous with lie. So anytime you find out something ain't what it appeared to be, that's what becomes the truth. Whatever came the opposing energy, you might look at that as the truth, because you actually figure out the facts and what's true about what you was believing in as a lie. And once you figure out that's not the truth, you'll start to figure out that there is no truth. So it's always that attaching to knowing, N-O, or knowledge, or knowledge, or knowing, in all kinds of ways, shapes, and forms. You know what I'm saying? So that's why your spirit is no thing, no shape and form. Is that attached to know. So when you understand that you come from nothing and you are nothing, this is where you obtain the most knowledge. This is when you have the most balance, because you can see things from each point of view without taking the shape and form of any dominant figure or any smaller passive figure. You know what I'm saying? This is where you start to understand how to not get attached to certain things. This is how you understand what to get attached to, just for the sake of an astral travel for the moment, and to not get attached to that, because when something has served its purpose and when time is up, you know how to let it go without any external vibrational attachments to it. And it takes you through a multitude of realms of realities. But you will start to understand that what spirituality is. That's your spiritual nature in general. So when we talk about what's truth, truth is nothing, no thing. Same way as your spirit is no thing. Now, y'all done made nothing something. So nothing is something. So this is why scientists is always on an endless trail or infinite regress trail of trying to figure out what's in this nothingness. Because the way and the terms and the imaginations that they're creating around nothing has nothing to do with no thing. That's why I said it's a thin line between, a very thin line between truth and what is true and what is a fact. Because what is true and what is a fact is everything don't come from nothing. So what y'all calling nothing, this is what y'all getting lost about. So y'all constantly trying to find things in nothingness. Until you understand that truth is more synonymous with no thing. Not nothing, no thing. Separated. No, which is knowledge, knowing, and knowing things, and knowing ledges and boundaries and restrictions, and aka knowing when to say no, aka no body, no shape and form. Understanding that your spirit is in no body, and the shape and form that is in is just a representation of what it wants to appear to be at the moment. So that is actually the truth. Nothing. So when you hear a scientist say, or a religious person say, well, things don't come out of nothingness, both of them is lost. Where technically, y'all don't understand why y'all saying nothing when it's saying no thing. Now y'all gonna try to understand, oh, well, no thing is something. And this is where you're gonna get confused and start not understanding the esoteric realm and the spirituality and things of that nature. But yeah, flight boss, bitch, goddamn air.